Final race, and here at Brands Hatch it promises to be the best climax of the British Touring Car Championship in years. Championship leader Colin Turkington, second place Giovanardi, the defending champion, third place Jason Plato, twice a winner already today. 8 points cover the three contenders, and Louise is down on what is a very tense grid indeed, I'm sure.
Yeah, gonna grab a word with this man in here, and I'm gonna get his name right this time as well. Matt Neal, leading off this time, Matt.
Oh, here we go again. So, I think the three at the back or in the middle of the pack have got their own race, but it's going to be interesting from all angles.
I mean, really for you, it's just about going ahead and trying to win this race, isn't it?
I wish it was that easy.
Tell me about it.
We just got to see how it unfolds, and my race will be, dictated by what's going on back there, really.
So again, the team are going to be keeping you abreast of the situation and what's happening behind you the whole time?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, we'll be keeping an eye on you. Right, I'm going to see if I can grab a word with Paul O'Neill, because while the focus this weekend is understandably on the championship contenders, I do just want to grab a word with the guy who has been voted ever popular with the fans. He's actually been voted on an online vote, the driver of the year, Paul O'Neill. Who were you waving and grinning at over there? We're just talking about the fact that you been voted the driver of the year on the online vote, and I know that must mean a lot to you.
It does, just by the Bible. Thank you, everyone. But it's fantastic to be recognised as somebody that the people like to see drive, and I love driving, and I'm just one of those people who's not behind the fence and fortunate enough to do it. So I just like to think I give it my all when I can, but I just want to thank everyone who's voted for me, because it got me quite emotional. As usual, you know the score.
Well, listen, you've kept a smile on our faces all season long, that's for sure. Right, now I'm going to get a bit of a trot on, because I want to go and grab a word with the three championship contenders. And we're going to start with Jason Plato. If you remember, literally 3 races, three days before the start of this championship, Plato didn't even have a car that was going to be on the grid, but now he's lining up with an opportunity, albeit a slim one now, of winning this championship. Oh, Jason, what a weekend it's been so far. All left to go for.
It's been a fantastic weekend, hasn't it? And I think, this is the BTCC at its best, isn't it? 30 races, this is the last one, and it's still yet to be decided. But it's going to be an interesting dynamic, because Fabrizio has to get past Colin. If he does, Colin has to get past him to win. I effectively need them both to come off and come third. So I'm a bit out of it, so I'm going to have a little watch and see, but I've got naught to lose. I'll be maximum attack.
Now listen, I know, yes, if you ever drive any other way, I know you were hoping to get Alan Gow to pull P6 out of the bowl. You obviously didn't pay him enough, but P8?
Well, actually, I wanted P10, because there's a bit more opportunity for stuff to happen.
Cheers. Well, what do you think is going to happen in this race?
There's going to be hell on.
Right, well, we'll be looking out for that one. Let's go and grab a word with Fabrizio, already acknowledged to be one of the best touring car drivers in the world. A chance of racking up a third successive trophy here today. Fabrizio, talk us through your tactics, because you got one of the championship contenders in front of you and another one behind. You looking in your rearview mirror or looking ahead?
I love you.
Give us a serious answer about the race. You're obviously not focused on this one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to put them inside myself all the power I can, because I know it's quite hard. But I will play the game until the end.
I had a quick word with Matt Neal, your teammate up on pole position. What can he do from you? How can he help you from there?
Yeah, it could be an advantage, but anyway, it's really far, so I have to catch before cars to be back to him if he wants to help me. But so it's really far. We'll see during the race.
Good luck. I love you too, darling. Let's go and grab a last quick word with Colin Turkington, the man leading the championship by 4 points. Colin, 4 points ahead of Fabrizio Giovanardi. Do you feel like you got one hand on the trophy?
It's good. I'm getting close. Your 4 points is a nice buffer to have. My car is slightly lighter than his, and I'm starting in front of him, so it's. I'm in quite a good position. We see how it goes. So much happens in one of these races that it's. I don't really feel like I have a hand on it yet.
What's the talk been in the garage? What's the team talk been in the build-up to this race?
Well, everybody's in good spirits. You know, the car's feeling really good, and you know, this is my first shot at the title. It's first shot really for West Surrey Racing. So you know, I'm going to give everything to try and do it.
We wish you the best of luck. It's nice to see as well that one of the 3 contenders in this championship is taking things seriously. The big race coming up in just a moment.
Well, thank you very much, Lou. It's tension. Tim, you've been dealing with it already today. Bad luck on not retaining your Porsche title, but now we've got to turn our focus onto those 3 guys.
This is huge. You know, this is your chance to put your name on that trophy. For Colin Turkington, it will be a first. Everyone on that trophy is a famous driver, and Colin wants to join them. And is it going to be his year? Jason obviously has done it before. Giovanardi's done it before, so they're understandably a little bit more relaxed.
And not only would it be a first win for Colin Turkington, interestingly, it would be a first win for the team as well. Team RAC or WSR, which have run touring cars for a number of years now, but they've won the Independence title plenty of times as both driver and team, but they haven't won this big one yet.
Oh, it would mean so much to them. They put their life and soul into it. Dick Bennett is a guru of engineering and setup, and nobody debriefs or works harder at it than he does on a technical front, and I'm sure it would be a huge feather in his cap if he could do it as well.
But Vauxhall, what a story this is. We know they're leaving, they're going at the end of this, and there's Fabrizio Giovanardi with a chance of taking yet another driver's title for them.
Yeah, and in a way, being as relaxed as he is may be to his advantage. He's got a strong car, a good car. He's got teammates that can possibly help him. And he's prepared to accept whatever happens out of it. It's not going to be life-changing for him, but he wants to win as a competitor. Whereas, you know, Colin Turkington, for example, will see this as life-changing and certainly life achievement.
And Jason Plato, he's had the one title. He's been in this battle to win it so many times, but only the actual one title. He'd love to add another one to that. The team, of course, came in late to this series with this Chevrolet, but they have performed brilliantly well.
Yeah, because he missed the start of the season, he probably feels that he's in a win-win situation being here now. Later on, I think he might regret some of the more rash moves that he made when he didn't feel he had a chance to win the championship and was going for broke. Because clearly that 8-point deficit wouldn't have been there now. But he's been a class act. He's great to have in the championship. He has his detractors, but as a driver, you have to take your hat off to him, and he's driven fantastically this year. And at this meeting so far, given himself the best possible chance.
Well, it is remarkable to me that the 3 contenders within 8 points of each other, they're all together on the grid for the very last race of the season, and it's just all to play for.
Yeah, we might as well forget the millions of pounds we've spent during the year and just have a 3-race meeting and decide the championship.
Well, let's take a look at how the grid lines up then. It is Matt Neal on pole position. How hard is he going to work to slow the field down to try and help Giovanardi further back? Paul O'Neill, though, is with him on the front row of the grid in the sunshine.co.uk car. Tom Chilton is 3rd. Johnny Adam is 4th. Chilton, of course, been flying with that Ford Focus today. What can he do now that he's lost some weight? Johnny Adam in the Airwaves car with his teammate, 5th on the grid. 6th there is Colin Turkington. He has a 4-point advantage, which means he could finish behind Giovanardi if they're not too far up the order. But if Giovanardi were to win and Colin was 2nd, it might not be enough of a margin. So next up it is Giovanardi with Plato next door. Now, of course, they've got to race each other as well, these two, as well as trying to get past Turkington and score as many points as possible. So that's really where the essence of this race is. As we go further back then, we've got Tom Onslow-Cole and Gordon Shedden. They'll still want to see what they can do, try and score some points in the final race. Stephen Jelly and Matt Jackson are next up, they're on row number 6. And then we've got Harry Volkard and Dave Pinkney. Behind them we've got John George and the 3rd of the Vauxhalls, not really able to help much this time, I don't think. Andrew Jordan starting 16th. Johnny Herbert's back on the next row of the grid with Anthony Reid, another of the Team RAC cars. And then as we go towards the back, it's Martin Bell, Matt Hamilton, and starting off the back is Martin Johnson. So there we are, that's the lineup for round 30. It all started here at Brands Hatch at the start of the season, and funnily enough, it was a certain Matt Neal that won the first race of the season. Now, of course, as we heard from the grid in his interview with Louise, it's clear that he's not got just the one objective of winning this race. He's got more to think about.
Yeah, Matt Neal looked like a championship contender from the start of the year, didn't he? And then things just unravelled, and now he is very much the support man for Giovanardi, and clearly he's got his instructions in this race to try and hold things up a little bit to to let Giovanardi through. That could work against him, in fairness. It may not work out necessarily in Giovanardi's favour, but one thing's for sure, Paul O'Neill, Tom Chilton, the two Airways BMWs will all be trying to win this race.
Yeah, they just want victory, and to win the final race of the year is a big feather in your cap, isn't it? So it's got to be worth something. There is the onboard view with Colin Turkington. 4 generations of the Turkingtons are here this weekend, all in support. It's a tremendous family, it's a racing family. There is Giovanardi, and he's looking for that 3rd straight title. Andy Rouse did it, Win Percy did it, but he really puts himself in the elite if he can manage it. And there's Jason Plato looking for a last gasp victory. It would be an incredible turnaround if he comes through to win it.
It would, and you think back to last year when it all went wrong at the last race for Plato. In fact, he ended up 3rd in the championship. Is it going to be a turnaround this time and he comes out a winner?
Well, absolutely, yes. He lost runners-up spot to Matt Jackson, didn't he? You had a fantastic season finale. Matt Jackson's not had such a good day today. It's just one of those things. Hasn't worked out according to plan. So here we go. It's been a pretty slow formation lap, hasn't it, by Matt Neal?
Yeah, I think that again is a bit like the Jason Plato trick at Snetton that didn't work, to try and stop the BMWs getting much heat into their tyres, because the front-wheel drive cars are sharper at the start of the race, and that's probably a technique he's done deliberately.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work, so we'll wait and see. What is also magnificent is how many people are here at the end of a long day's racing at Brands Hatch. Bit of cloud cover now, cooled down a little bit, but the stands are absolutely packed. There are people surrounding the whole Indy circuit part of the track, big screens up so they can see what's going on around the long circuit.
It's one of the biggest crowds I think I've ever seen at a BTCC meeting, and hats off to Jonathan Palmer and Brands Hatch for putting on a great show.
Yeah, it really has been a tremendous climax to the season. And we're about to find out who's going to end up winning the 2009 championship. Matt Neal on pole position then, but it's that group in the middle of that shot really you've got to watch. It's Colin Turkington with Fabrizio Giovanardi and Jason Plato.
And watch Collard off the line, remember.
Yeah, definitely. The rear-wheel drive BMWs will be looking to launch themselves into the first corner for the final time. Away we go, and Matt Neal makes a brilliant start, and the 2 Airways cars are flying along. Paul O'Neill, a miserable getaway. Turkington's got alongside Tom Chilton as they head down into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, but he backs out of it. Chilton's allowed that slot, and Giovanardi's going to try and follow Paul to get past Paul O'Neill as they go up the hill towards the hairpin. Matt Neal is race leader with the 2 Airways cars behind, and Giovanardi's right on the tail of Colin Turkington. It's going to be tight. We knew it was going to be. Jason Plato has got a car between himself and his 2 big contenders. O'Neill trying to stay around the outside of Giovanardi, just staying on in the background.
Oh, Collard's off, and this is all as a result, I think, of Matt Neal slowing things down. He was slow into Druids and slow down the hill, but I think Johnny Adam may have got past as well.
Yeah, but we've got damage at the back, but look up front, what's going on? Matt Neal going with Tom Chilton. Chilton is going to take the lead now in the Ford Focus. Turkington's right in the middle of that battle, so is Giovanardi. They're side by side as they head up towards Hawthorns, and Matt Neal's trying to control the pace. He's trying to slow the BMW down and put him under pressure from Giovanardi. Matt Neal moves out to the outside. Already some damage on that Vauxhall. Turkington up into second.
Blimey, Turkington up to second. I didn't see that coming halfway around the first lap. What a fantastic first lap. Both the Airways BMWs have disappeared.
They have, but Matt Neal is still leading this race. The safety car is out. Giovanardi having a little look on Turkington, but the safety car has been called. There you can see the boards. They will back off now. Let's hope nobody anchors up too quickly. And the first lap, a dramatic first lap, is neutralised now as they head round towards the line. And as you say, who would have thought Turkington would be second at the end of lap 1?
But he's in a dangerous place. He's in a Vauxhall sandwich with 2 of the most seasoned, hardened campaigners there are, but a brilliant first lap. Clearly a lot of action on the bottom straight after Graham Hill happened there. We lost both Airways BMWs after a brilliant start from them. Actually, Johnny Adam is at the back of the train. He's still going, but Collard is certainly out. Andrew Jordan has stopped with mechanical problems and accident damage, so he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he stopped off on the Indy Circuit link, so he's well out of the way, but there's Collard, and oh dear, that's a badly damaged rear end to the BMW, end of his race. No doubt
that's
about
a shame. That's the 3rd time that left rear corner, or the right rear corner, has been wiped off that car, and I think the last time it cost £46,000, so
let's have a look,
expensive
Tim.
end.
Let's see if we can catch any of this. Oh, car's running wide. That was Herbert and Andrew Jordan, I think. But there was something else that had already happened a bit further up. So let's see if we can spot anything.
Matt Neal's gone wide. That's Johnny Adam up the inside, and in fact Chilton turned Collard round.
Yeah, it did look like it.
Yeah.
Matt Neal, as you said, was trying to sort of control the pace a little bit, and they bunched up hugely.
Yeah.
Now, looking from Turkington, this was the first lap, and this was going into Paddock Hill Bend. I wondered if he was going to stay around the outside of Chilton, but he backed out of that one, but it still was a good getaway.
Yeah, now up to Druids. Matt Neal's backing everybody up. Al Adams running into the back of him. He's just slowing everything down. They're all running into the back of each other. We get down to the bottom. The BMWs, look, I mean, he's just slowing them up. So contact's inevitable. And Chilton just taps the back of the BMW, which of course, being rear-wheel drive, goes straight round. I don't know how we lost Johnny Adam. That's how we lost Johnny Adam. Matt Neal dispensed with him as well. So, well, very unlucky and really not playing the game.
Yeah, it's a shame to have lost some real potential race winners from this one already. And that was on board Turkington, of course, as he got past Tom Chilton on the outside. So Chilton got hung out to dry. But, of course, by this point, Turkington was up into second place. But he now is where he is behind safety car, which is in second, but has a sandwich between those two Vauxhalls. So you've got Matt Neal, Carl, there's Turkington in second, and then it's Giovanardi in third.
I mean, this is a real dilemma for Turkington. How on earth does he tackle, a belligerent Matt Neal and a star like Giovanardi behind? Because whatever he tries to do with Matt Neal, the only way he can satisfactorily get past is really if Matt Neal is out of the equation. He needs to get past him and immediately have a gap. Well, the only way he's going to get that is if Matt Neal makes a mistake, which at the speed Matt's going to go isn't going to happen, because Matt's going to back him into Giovanardi, or to literally tap him out the way, which is not Colin's style. So at the moment you'd have to say poor Colin is in a difficult position.
The other one who's made a lot of progress here is the other Ford Focus of Tom Onslow Cole. He's up to 5th from 9th. Plato didn't make such good progress, so the other two contenders are up there, but Plato is down in 6th place. Let's just listen back to some of the radio that was going on a moment ago. Giovanardi, this was. Just waiting for the audio to come in.
I have to try to pass Matt, if I can, obviously, and then you have to manage the points.
So,
yeah, we understand that, mate. We understand that. Obviously, Matt's going to try and give you a hand. I've just spoken to him. He's going to try and help you to find a way past Turkington.
So now we know what's going to happen. Matt Neal's going to try and let Giovanardi through, and if he does and gets in front, and Matt Neal keeps Turkington behind, then the championship would go the way of Fabrizio Giovanardi.
Yeah, it's got a slightly ominous look to this, hasn't it? But we'll see what happens there. On to the restart now. We've lost a lot of the potential race winners from this race already, and left it to the title protagonist to fight it out.
Yep, absolutely. So safety car lights are out. Matt Neal's going to determine the pace, but you get the feeling he's not going to try and run away, because he's just going to try and control this. He wants to work it so that Giovanardi goes from 3rd to 1st. Tricky thing to try and manage. And Turkington, he's going to have to use every ounce of his racing brain here. It's going to be a tough one.
Well, I think he's in a difficult position. I think I know what I would do, but it's not Colin's style, I'm afraid. But we know Matt Neal's going to back him up and present an opportunity to Giovanardi. Well, what do you do in that situation? Let's see.
Restart time, and away goes Matt Neal across the line. Turkington's going to follow him into Paddock Hill Bend. It's Giovanardi in 3rd. The battle is on for the championship. Jason Plato doesn't seem to be a factor in it. He's a bit further down the order at the moment. Matt Neal taking a very tight line into the hairpin, just trying to make it so that Giovanardi's right there with him. Now he's got to try and judge it that he doesn't allow Turkington to come past from his point of view, but he does allow Giovanardi to go on the attack. Turkington will know that. He'll want to try and get past the Vauxhall if at all possible, but where does he make his move? That's the question. Matt Neal shuts the door into Surtees, conventional line into there. Still the two Focuses might come into the game here a little bit on board with Giovanardi, and he's got a great run out of Surtees' corner, and Turkington cleverly just hugging the inside of the road.
Yeah, don't forget Turkington's a little bit lighter, so he has got top speed, but Matt Neal's just driving around the inside of the circuit. Sooner or later, Giovanardi's going to get a chance, or he's going to touch. Oh, he's on the grass, Giovanardi's got to... Oh, Chilton's around the outside.
Chilton around the outside trying to take third place from Giovanardi. Giovanardi will not want that. It's given Turkington a little bit of breathing space just for a moment.
This is exactly how Vauxhall's orders could actually backfire on them, because what they might be backing Turkington and Giovanardi, but they're also backing Giovanardi into the rest of the group.
Yeah, and Plato was trying to go around the outside of Onslow Cole, didn't quite manage it, but Plato still throwing everything he can at this as he tries to get in on the... There he is in the blue and white Chevrolet. He's got Gordon Shedden joining in. He's having a good run. Paul O'Neill is on his outside as we go back on board with Giovanardi.
Yeah, maybe Vauxhall are telling Matt Neal to get his foot down now because he's suddenly stretched out a bit of a lead. I think maybe they feel the time to play those sort of games is a little bit later when perhaps Giovanardi hasn't got someone right on his boot lid.
Yeah, but Chilton staying with this group at the moment. That Focus has shown great pace all day, so it's a top four breakaway a little bit at the moment with Chilton at the back of the group. You're still on board third place man Fabrizio Giovanardi, fastest lap for Johnny Adam on that last lap despite problems on the opening lap. The car's certainly going well, and he's in a group a bit further down. Into Surtees then, and Turkington a tighter line than Matt Neal. Giovanardi again gets a very good run out of the corner. He's got a good exit line there, and the Vauxhall engine certainly working well here. We had one weekend where they were struggling, but there don't seem to be any problems with their motors this weekend.
No, they've been good all weekend on the motors. I'm sure the Sedemo, the French engine builder, has done an excellent job for them this weekend, but that BMW is fast as well.
It is, and Giovanardi going on the attack once again. She's going to try and go around the outside, and Turkington fends him off once more, holds him off. Great attempt by the Italian.
And here comes Chilton.
Chilton's going to go on the inside, and this is Chilton trying to take the place away from Giovanardi, and that has cost Giovanardi big time.
Well, you reap what you sow, and that was Matt Neal trying to slow them back, and to be honest, they deserve to get beaten if they play those games.
And Chilton will not respond to any flashing lights from Giovanardi. He will want to beat him fair and squared. Tom will just drive his own race, and he'll try and win it if at all possible. Let's take a look back at some of that, Tim.
Well, this is into Hawthorns, looking back at Giovanardi. He gets a good run through. Colin goes defensive, and Giovanardi goes round the outside. He's never going to get round there. He gets hung out to dry, loses momentum. Chilton is straight down the inside.
Yeah, and Chilton took full advantage of that to move up into third. So Matt Neal still leading this race, but Matt Neal is certainly not running away because he wants to control the pace of the whole bunch of them. There you are, Giovanardi still on the back of the group, and Matt Neal will definitely now try and hold it all up a little bit and gives Giovanardi a chance to go on the attack once again. This is where Turkington has to play clever. He has got at least a not unfriendly car behind him in Tom Chilton, but there's Giovanardi who will do everything he can to get back past the Team Aon machine.
Yeah, I mean, this is making it more interesting. I mean, Tom Chilton is going to end up being Turkington's best buddy if he can keep Giovanardi behind him.
Yeah, Turkington quite tight into Hawthorns there, so he won't want Chilton to get past. Of course, Chilton will try and get past Turkington. He's not going to just sit there. If he's got a run going, the Team Aon car will simply decide to go into second. He's not bothered about the championship at all.
Oh no, if he gets a chance, he'll go for it. And with Matt Neal sort of speeding up and slowing down all the time, and here comes Giovanardi, just looking. It's very hard to pass into Sterling's there.
Yeah, and Chilton being passed by Plato earlier on today. He won't want to be passed again. This is wonderful stuff. We're coming around this time to complete lap 6 and go on to lap 7 out of 17. The new race distance up a bit because we have the safety car out, of course. It's Matt Neal leading. Vauxhall on top, but not in terms of the Drivers' Championship right now. Turkington in a good solid second place in this race, but will he stay there? Matt Neal coming through Paddock Hill Bend and climbing the hill back towards Druids, and still not quite able to put any challenge on. Tom Chilton still there in third, Giovanardi in fourth, and Plato, by the way, still in sixth place. You're looking on board from Turkington, back at the Focus of Chilton.
Don't forget, Plato's not out of this. If there's an incident between Turkington and Giovanardi, which could easily happen, he could still be back in this.
Definitely, that's right. So wait and see. Little lock-up from Chilton, no problem. He gets the line through Surtees, perhaps a touch wide. Giovanardi's had a better run there. Out of Surtees, kicking up bits of rubber offline. Matt Neal still controlling the pace. Turkington still looking for his opportunity. What he wants more than anything is to get past the Vauxhall, but we know that Matt Neal will make that as hard as he possibly can. Giovanardi's still there in the fight, still in the running. In the background, Paul O'Neill ended up on the grass. Plato has got a bit clear of this group. Onslow Cole has been passed by Plato and finds himself now right in the middle of another battle.
Yeah, this front four though have got a gap behind them, so they can fight it out amongst themselves. But look at that, here comes Plato up behind.
Yeah, Giovanardi really held over there. Oh yeah, you're right, Plato is flying. Plato is beginning to catch Giovanardi, and Vauxhall might have a bit more on their plate here, with Plato beginning to close down on the Vauxhall Vectra. Wonderful stuff. Through clearways they come then, out onto the Brabham Straight. Little bit of a break for Matt Neal now, but it's Jason Plato that we're watching here, because he's definitely getting that little bit closer to the back of Giovanardi.
Yeah, and just to give you some idea of how much Matt Neal is slowing everybody up, he set the fastest lap in the last race, a 1:34.0. In this race so far, with 0 ballast on, his quickest lap is a 1:35.5.
Wow.
I think it tells the story.
It does, yes. Chilton still holds third, just about, from Giovanardi. Then it's Jason Plato. You ride with Plato as they come through Graham Hill. Ben Giovanardi goes a little bit wide there, but he's got great pace and he's going to have a go at getting down the inside of Chilton. He knows he's got to do it because Plato's right there with him, and Plato will try and follow through here, and I think he will. He will, and in fact Plato's got a great run. He might even attack Giovanardi as they come down the Minter Straight.
Yeah, that was good opportunities, good timing. They're going to be side by side. Giovanardi's going to hold the inside, but will Chilton duck up as well? Oh, it's going to be so close. Plato's bound to be on the dirt, isn't he? No.
Oh, wonderful stuff between two great rivals who have this respect for one another, but both want to win this championship. So how can they do that? Well, they've got to survive the race. That's the first thing. Nobody wins championships unless they make it to the end of this one. And Gordon Shedden's still moving up. Great drive this from Gordon Shedden in the background in the yellow and black club Sayak Leon. He's enjoying himself while these guys all sort of fall over themselves.
Well, yeah, it's all because Matt Neal's slowing him up again. I mean, he's now waiting for Giovanardi to catch up to the back of Turkington, and we'll carry on again. I mean, Gordon Shedden now has the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, that's right. So he doesn't care about championship. But as you say, Matt Neal crosses the line and still controlling the race from Colin Turkington. Can Turkington find a way of getting past Matt Neal before he gets caught by Giovanardi? That's the big question, because these guys are going to catch. You know they are, because Matt Neal is going to make sure they do. That's what... Oh, and now's a chance. There's a chance. There's contact there. Turkington and Neal make contact. Turkington's still on. Neal gets back onto the track. My goodness, Turkington's taken the lead, but Giovanardi still is second. Is there any damage? I don't know. But now...
Wait for it. Matt Neal's coming back at him. He's going to hit him.
It's Giovanardi, not Matt Neal.
Giovanardi, sorry, thank goodness for that.
It's Giovanardi who's there behind Turkington now. It's 1-2 in the battle for the championship. Now it's a straight fight because Matt Neal's been pushed back to third. So now we have the top two in the championship going for it, Tim. It's pure and simple.
Right, let's get on with it. Now we can race for real. No more silly games. Oh, and I tell you what, Turkington's got a problem. He's got a problem. He may even have a puncture.
Well, he did make a bit of contact.
I'm sure there's a problem with Turkington's car. I'm sorry.
Well, it's possible. He did make contact with Matt Neal, and the BMW is not usually as resilient as some of the other cars. When they do make contact, the Vauxhall is a strong machine and it can come back. Oh, and off's gone Matt Neal.
Yeah, I mean, he did the right thing. I think Colin had no option but to attack Matt Neal, because clearly he was never going to get a chance otherwise. But look, his car is hobbled. His car's hobbled.
He's struggling, isn't he? And look how far we're only half distant. Oh, and there's another contact. Giovanardi's still trying to go. Look at Plato. Plato's going to join in now as well. So all three championship contenders are right there. And Plato's coming up into second place now. Turkington, we think, has got problems with his car. He's desperately trying to stay in front. Plato's just going to drive around the outside of him. Giovanardi's going to try and take him on the inside. This is amazing stuff.
Well, I mean, Giovanardi knows that Turkington's wounded, so he's trying to be patient. Plato hasn't got that luxury. He had to go for it. He drove around the outside at Paddock, and well, there's definitely damage on the back of Turkington's car.
Can he hold on? That's the question. Long way to go still in this race. Plato going in very deep into Surtees there, but he's got the lead. If it finished as it is now, Turkington would still be champion. Oh, Giovanardi very wide, but if he's in trouble, if Giovanardi gets past him, then it could all change. Remember that there's an 8-point gap between Plato and Turkington, so this isn't enough for him if Turkington finishes in second place, but it looks as though Turkington may well drop more places. Let's see what happens.
Turkington's learning to drive around the problem. I think that the toe has been knocked out on the left rear of the car, and he's learning to drive around it. It isn't a puncture, I I don't think, because that would have gone down already by now, but certainly the suspension's been hobbled or something. You can see it's struggling through the fast right-handers, but he's learning to get around it a little bit.
Yeah, he is. Great line there at Stirling's. But up over the curve, down towards Clearways now. This is, of course, where he's under pressure. This was where, on the next section, where Plato got past him. So he takes the tight line, and this is where he could be in trouble coming out and round. It's tight, it's tight. Giovanardi's on the grass, and it's going to be Chilton who's going to try and get past them both. Giovanardi trying to squeeze through where there really wasn't space, and Turkington shut the door on him.
Yeah, well, the best thing that Turkington do is try and back Giovanardi into a Chilton, a Shedden, a Jackson or somebody else, and hope he gets taken out. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job, Turkington, really, to keep the fight going.
And he's now got a car between himself and Giovanardi. That's what he wants off.
Jackson and Shedden off.
Yeah, Shedden off. I don't know whether he's going to be able to get back on again, or whether he may... No, he has got back on. He just brushed the wall, but he didn't make heavy contact with it. So Shedden rejoined. So Turkington is still there. He's still ahead of Chilton. Plato is running away with this race now, but it's not enough for Plato if everybody else stays where they are. But there's still plenty of laps to go here.
There are a lot of cars that could finish between Plato and Turkington and Giovanardi, so don't write this off. He's going to win the race.
Jackson with one of the Team RAC cars. I'm not sure, I think it was Reed, Anthony Reed. There was a little bit of a touch with Stephen Jelly's behind Anthony Reed at the moment, and that could have ended in tears, but thankfully they got it back together. Fast part of the circuit.
Yeah, it's still all to play for and a long way to go. They're only on lap 11 of 17, but, well, can Colin Turkington hold on to it?
We will find out. Plato still the race leader as they come down under the bridge once again. Still second place for Turkington. Chilton in third. Giovanardi in fourth. Matt Neal still in the hunt in fifth place. So we'll see what happens there. Shedden, of course, losing out on that last lap, so he's dropped out of the top six now. And you're right about Turkington. Turkington does seem to be gradually finding his feet again in this car. That was a pretty good lap from him that time around. In fact, 35.192, that's his best lap of the race, personally.
Yeah, well, it's all going on now. Turkington, as you say, has set the fastest, his personal fastest lap. So he is learning to drive around it, but, well,
wait and see what happens. Tom Chilton, of course, interesting that he's in front of Fabrizio Giovanardi, a former Vauxhall driver, Tom, but he's driving for himself here, and that's all he wants. His points, another podium would be a wonderful way to finish the season.
Yeah, no, Turkington's definitely got a handle on this now. He looked so wounded, didn't he, for a couple of laps. He was literally driving around the inside, and it's just like he's adapted to it now, and he's got it handled. He's actually closing in a bit on Plato.
Maybe it was just a huge amount of muck on the tyres, because he did go right off track, all four wheels on the grass.
Nah, but he would have turned up, he would have actually managed to clean that off very quickly. When you see the car coming towards you, it actually looks like it's crabbing. I don't think the car's even driving straight.
Well, at the moment he's somehow holding on to what is second place, but can he hold on to it?
Look at the car. I don't think it's going straight. I think it's knocked the rear toe on the left rear completely out. This is the moment. This was Turkington up behind Neil. Look, he just pushed him wider. There's the contact. That's the contact on the left rear.
Yeah, and that's where you reckon there's some damage, yeah?
Yeah, and Colin had to do that, because the way Matt was holding everybody up, the only way to get past was to push him wide and not have Matt immediately on his back bumper, which meant an action like that. Sadly, he probably didn't push him hard enough up the rear at the start to push him wide, but and that resulted in the secondary contact that's given him the suspension problem.
Well, he's dealing with it at the moment, but of course it is that left rear that got the contact that does all the work around this Brands Hatch circuit. So his heart is going to be in his mouth as he carries on around his second. You're on board with Giovanardi here. This is not enough for Giovanardi. He needs to try and get past, first of all, that Ford Focus in front of him, being driven by Tom Chilton, and then he needs to find a way past Colin Turkington as well. But at the moment, he's not finding a way of doing it.
And he doesn't look that threatening either, does he? He doesn't look like a man that is desperate to gain two places, which is what he needs to do. So maybe it's going to come back to Colin Turkington or stay with him.
Well, let's wait and see. We've still got a few laps to go. We're on lap 13 out of 17. Plato leading the race by 1.3 seconds from Turkington, Chilton, and then behind them Fabrizio Giovanardi still sitting fourth, Matt Neal in fifth. Matt Jackson's come up to sixth now, by the way, despite earlier problems. He sort of recovered a bit to sixth. Reed is seventh, Jelly is in eighth place, Onslow Cole, Giovanardi wide there, Onslow Cole ninth, and Johnny Adam in 10th place.
Yeah, you can see how hard Giovanardi's pushing, and yet he's not making a real inroad into Chilton. So maybe he's got a little problem as well, but he's clearly trying his heart out.
Yeah, he's working very hard indeed. Turkington this time around, just about the same gap between himself and Chilton. Not really much of a difference, I wouldn't have thought, as they crossed the line. Maybe a tenth closer, Chilton, on that lap than he was on the previous one. There is your race leader, and he is looking at a pretty remarkable performance here. He's looking at doing 3 wins in one day, and it's been a long time since we've had that, Tim.
Yeah, Dan Eaves at Thruxton, I think, was the last one.
Just getting a word from the pits that they're reporting that Turkington's car is okay. They've reported to Colin, they've spoken to him, and actually the car is okay by the sound of things.
Yeah, they might just be saying that.
Absolutely, they don't want to give any of the other teams any hint they might be in trouble. Well,
if it finishes at the race and they win the championship, it'll be the most perfect car ever.
Right. It's still on its way at the moment. At the moment, as it stands, Turkington sitting in second place is doing enough to win the championship. There is Fabrizio Giovanardi. He will be leaving the British Touring Cars, we think. Oh, he's leaving the circuit. Where's he going?
Yeah, he's off to Gravesend, isn't he, I think, and Maidstone, but he is trying his hardest, but he clearly hasn't got the pace of the car now.
No, it's just not quite there at the moment for Fabrizio Giovanardi and this Vauxhall Vectra, which has been such an impressive car in its lifetime in the British Touring Car Championship. It's taken him to 2 successive titles, and it's kept him in the hunt for a 3rd title as well. It's suited his style. He's been a brilliant part of the British Touring Car Championship the last few years, but can he do anything here? With the laps gradually ticking away, we're going to go on to lap number 15 out of 17. 3 laps to go then, and there you are, riding on board with the man who currently could be champion if it stays as it is now.
Yeah, and these will be the longest three laps of his life, and there's a lot happier looking crew in the West Surrey team there.
Oh, it's still tantalising though, isn't it? Chilton running very well in 3rd. What a brilliant day Tom Chilton has been having. He did drop back a few places, remember, in race 2 when he got muscled out of the way carrying maximum ballast, but had that superb run in the first race. Nice little battle going on further down the field, I just noticed, between Jackson and the 2 Team RAC cars. The other 2, that's Stephen Jelly and Anthony Reid, but we're focusing on this because this is about the championship, and it's still Giovanardi is not able to close that gap. There you are. This is a great little tussle going on. Matt Jackson, Stephen Jelly and Anthony Reid.
Yeah, great battle there. We saw contact between these 2 at that point a few laps ago, and that was a heart in the mouth moment for sure for Matt Jackson.
Not sure his car's going quite in a straight line either, actually. Jackson's car looks a little bit unstable. I think his left rear is towing out a bit because he's really struggling. Doesn't seem to want to even brake in a straight line.
Well, mind you, he has got a lot of dirt on that, as you said as well. So he's so look at that slide into there, Rallycross style, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's really holding on here, and Stephen Jelly can obviously see there's an opportunity. It's good through the left-handers. I'm not sure it's quite so good through the right-handers, but down the hill they come into the Indy Circuit section once again. This is the battle for 6th place then. Still Matt Jackson holding on to that from Stephen Jelly. He's going to try and get the run out of the corner, but no, Jackson's too good to come across there. Shut the door on him early.
Yeah, he was trying very hard. You can see the car twitching as he tried to tighten the line and get underneath Jackson, but Jackson was carrying plenty of corner speed to do it.
2 laps to go, less than 2 laps to go. Jason Plato continues to lead this race. Matt Jackson here, his teammate, still trying to fend off Stephen Jelly. Jelly, the star at Rockingham last time out, won the High Q Champagne moment of the event for his 2 wins there, voted for by the fans. But he's had a bit of a tougher weekend here, but Jackson's just helped him because he's run wide, and that's given Jelly the chance to draw alongside, go ahead, and he might come back at him. Oh, great stuff, Jack, from Matt Jackson. Not about to be passed that easily.
Well, this is touring car racing. They will race till the last lap of the race, the last race of the season. So good on them.
Yeah, Anthony Reid joining in. He's been enjoying himself actually this weekend, really feeling much more in tune with the car. Jelly there maybe had a little bit of a problem. No, sorry, it's Reid actually who slowed down a little bit. But there you are, back with the race leader, Jason Plato. It's Colin Turkington still in 2nd place. Tom Chilton is the one keeping him under a bit of pressure, but it's not Giovanardi. Giovanardi cannot sustain the pace for whatever reason, riding on board with him. He just can't keep up with those those two ahead.
Yeah, don't forget that Turkington can let Chilton through. It doesn't matter. He can let him through. There's enough of a gap. He certainly doesn't want to be defending and letting Giovanardi have a sniff on the last lap. It might pay him just to let Chilton through.
Well, let's see what happens. The teams, the drivers are on to the last lap of this 30-race championship, which has enthralled us from its very beginning here at Brands Hatch in April, right through to the very last lap of the last race. And it's going to come down to the last few corners of the last race at this rate. Turkington just flaming out a little bit on the overrun as he heads up into Druids. At the moment, he's doing just the job that he wanted to do, the job the team wanted to do. Plato might be heading for an amazing 3 wins here today, but if it stays like this, it won't be enough.
No, you have to take your hat off to Jason. He's done everything he could, driven beautifully today, and 3 wins out of 3 is very seldom ever achieved at this level of racing. But Turkington looks like he's on his way to the championship. Fingers crossed for another half a lap. His first British touring car title could be coming his way.
Oh, he's just got a few corners to go through the fast sweeping right-handers at Hawthorne and then at Westfield. What a season it has been from the young man from Portadown, County Armagh in Northern Ireland. Is he going to take the British Touring Car title home to Northern Ireland for the first time ever? He's only got a couple more corners to go now. The left-hander at Stirling's. What a dream season he has driven. We've hardly ever seen him make contact with other cars. There was a bit of a rub with Matt Neal in this one, but surely he had to do something. Plato is going to come through to take the final race win of 2009. But the 2009 Highq British Touring Car champion is Colin Turkington. Colin Turkington wins it for Team RAC. Dick Bennett and the team take their first ever title, and Louise is in tears. 4 generations of the Turkington family are here. Colin's grandfather, 91 years old, is here today. His son, who's only 3 months old, is here today. What a day it has been. What a season it has been. What a year it has been for Colin Turkington.
He is emotionally drained. You can see he's just absolutely exhausted with the emotion of leading this championship and winning his first championship. And, you know, he deserved it. Congratulations to Colin Turkington and to the whole of West Surrey Racing. He is a star driver, a class act and a worthy champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite agree with you there, Tim. Totally deserved this. And he will take that trophy. It's delight. Look at Plato. What a result that was for him today. 3 out of 3. Only Dan Eves has ever done that before, and that was at Thruxton. But a superb achievement by Jason today. And there, the man who fought so hard. This guy is one of the most determined guys I've ever seen in racing, because he just will never give up. But ultimately, just beaten on the day.
He was beaten on the day, and he was beaten by the better man. And he would accept that, and I'm sure he'll be a gracious loser as well. He knows that today, it was Turkington that did the job.
Well, we're going to try and get some radio from us, see if it's working. This is Ben to Colin. Colin, can you hear us? What a result. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I can't believe it. I don't know what to say.
We feel for you, mate. Blinding job there. Absolutely fantastic. We're just looking down at the pits at the moment. Your family, they can't believe it either. What does this mean to you?
I can't describe it. You know, everything I've done up until now in motorsport has been for this moment, and it's unbelievable.
Well done from all of us, and you take your time to enjoy it. Colin Turkington in tears there, and you just, it's just magic.
Well, he's going to age a lot, isn't he? I mean, he's come of age as a driver, but the emotional roller coaster he's been on, not only this season, but in that race alone. I mean, What do you think he must have been thinking of when he was a meat in that Vauxhall sandwich? He must have been thinking it's all going to go wrong, but he's come through it all, and he's come through it with class, and I'm so pleased for him. I've got a lump in my throat myself.
Yeah, well, there's the result. Plato takes the victory, but it's Turkington's second place that earns him the title. Chilton finished in a fantastic 3rd place once again. Giovanardi was 4th, Matt Neal in 5th ahead of Stephen Jelly, Anthony Reid, Johnny Adam, then Gordon Shedden and David Pinkney. outside the top 10. We saw Matt Jackson. He was in the various fights throughout that. Onslow, Cole, Hamilton, Herbert finished in 14th place. But in terms of the championship, that is the final score. It is 275 to Turkington. Jason Plato did a reverse job on what happened to him last year, because he snatched second in the closing stages of the championship, whereas last year he lost second, and Giovanardi slips to third place at the end of the day. Matt Neal finishes the championship in fourth ahead of Matt Jackson. Rob Collard and the Airwaves team, well, they finished in sixth place ahead of Stephen Jelly in the second Team RAC car. James Thompson still finished in the top 10, pretty impressive considering he didn't do the last few events, of course. So there he is. Well, there's Jason Plato getting out after his triple victory. What a day it's been for him, and he couldn't have done any more than he did here today.
No, it's fantastic. Fantastic racing, and through everything, the top three guys in the championship fought it out over 3 races, and we saw some of the best driving we've seen all year. And you know, no surprise, I suppose, that Cream rises to the top. But they've done the championship proud, they've done the sponsors proud, and well, let's see Colin's reaction when he gets out of the car.
Well, this has got to be quite something. A young man whose hero in motorsport is a certain Joey Dunlop, Northern Ireland's iconic road racing motorcycling champion. Well, now he has become iconic himself by winning the British Touring Car Championship. And there's his dad, Trevor, to congratulate him. Lovely scenes. His dad, a rally driver, used to rally drive co-driven by his mum, who's there as well, Mavis. They used to rally together. The whole family is immersed in motorsport. His brother Gary used to race. And so just motorsport has been a massive, massive part. And there's Louise with young Lewis. He became a dad this year, just a few months ago. And not only that, he's won the British Touring Car title. I think 2009 will go down in history for Colin Turkington.
Oh, will it ever? And thoroughly deserved. And the team are so much a part of this. West Surrey Racing, they really worked hard this year. Jason Plato came over and gave his congratulations. Tom Chilton as well. And there's Tim Plato. He can appreciate that this was Colin Turkington's year.
It was his season, wasn't it? And he just drove so well. I've seen very few drivers who are as cool as he is. There's Dick Bennett, a man who's won plenty of British Formula 3 championships with the likes of Ayrton Senna, Rubens Barrichello. But before today, he's never had a driver win the British Touring Car Championship. And Dick is in tears as well.
I'm not surprised. You know, this is not a lifetime achievement for Dick, but it's certainly a huge career and personal achievement for him. He wanted to be a winning constructor in the British Touring Car Championship, or a winning team, and he's done it.
He has done it. Soak up that feeling and let's get down there.
I don't know whether you're capable of a speech again now, but what an amazing result. That had to be one of the toughest drives of your life.
Yeah, I can't believe it. You know, since I started racing go-karts, you know, this is what I wanted to do, and to win the British Touring Car Championship, I just can't describe it. Unbelievable race, you know. I knew I had to get past Matt Neal. That's my granddad. I knew I had to get past Matt Neal because Fabrizio was there and had some damage in the car, but I couldn't believe it. This was pulling away from Tom, so I just can't believe it.
You've been so calm and collected throughout the season, but the emotions are really coming out of you now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, I thought after qualifying in race 1, I thought it's going to be impossible, but you know, I just want to say thanks to Dick Bennett and Mike for giving me my first opportunity, and Team Atomic Kitten, and John Morton, my engineer, and the guys on my team, Lewis, Adam, Tipper, and everybody in West Surrey Racing, and Mum and Dad. You know, they've supported me right from the go-kart. So and Louise and my wee boy. I just want to thank everybody.
And look at the guys you've beaten as well. I mean, Jason Plato and Fabrizio Giovanardi, recognised as possibly the best touring car driver in the world.
Yeah, well, maybe they're number 2 and 3 now.
What's it meant to you to have all of your family here? I mean, your granddad here as well. What has it meant?
It's fantastic. You know, there's so many people here from back home, and you know, it's my granddad's here. He's 91, and my dad, my 3 brothers, and my son. And I didn't think this day would ever come.
You've put them through an incredibly hard time, I have to say.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do it. You know, every time, every race, I tried to my maximum 100%, and I can't believe I'm here. Can't believe it.
Tell us a bit about the VX Racing's tactics during that race as well? I mean, they didn't make it easy for you, did they?
No, they didn't. I was quicker than Matt, but couldn't find a way past, and Fabrizio was hounding me, so I had to make the move on Matt.
Listen, you've got plenty of champagne to drink. We'll enjoy your celebrations, and we'll go to Steve.
Okay.
Thanks, Lou. A great championship and a truly great champion. Such emotion down in the garage, but he's demonstrated all those champion qualities in the most absorbing, demanding of days here at Brands Hatch. Colin Turkington is number one. Plenty more reaction from the likes of Jason Plato and Fabrizio Giovanardi still to come here at Brands Hatch. Colin Turkington is the new British Touring Car champion. Vauxhall threw absolutely everything at him here in a dramatic final race at Brands Hatch. Turkington, though, resisted it all. Jason Plato won all 3 races here this afternoon to take second place in the championship from Fabrizio Giovanardi, and Louise is getting more reaction now.
Well, let's have a word with the championship runner-up, Jason Plato. And I mean, to think, you know, a week before the start of this season, you weren't going to be driving in this series, were you?
No, that's true. The announcement from Sayat was a bolt out of the blue, and I was still in contract, so that was a big shame, really, and it messed up my plans. But in many ways, look what we've achieved. It's been a fantastic year, and it's now you look back at some of the things some of the mistakes I might have made. With hindsight, is a wonderful thing. But had we started early and prepared, I generally believe we would have won this. But Colin's a very worthy champion. He's driven fantastically all year. Their team's performed at their maximum, and I did all I could do. I won the last 3 races, and that's it. I'll lie very sensibly and satisfied in my bed tonight.
Well done. Let's grab a word with Fabrizio Giovanardi here as well. Fabrizio, didn't quite work out for you today, but what a season it's been.
I have to say that it's been great. It's a great season. I didn't win, but just one win. And Colin did all good. He had all in his way, so it's correct that he won. He had a really hard drive today, I have to say. Good save, because everyone just trying to beat him, and he didn't make any mistakes. So I think I'm really happy for him. Not for me, but for him. Yeah.
Well, he had 2 guys in your team trying to beat him today as well, didn't he? But your team tactics didn't really work out for you.
Yeah. Again, Colin was really careful, and is right if he won.
You've been a star of this championship for many years. Are we going to see you back here next year?
Good question. If you have the answer, yeah.
We hope so. Thanks.
And Tim Harvey, there are going to be so many plaudits for the new champion Colin Turkington, but how much is this championship going to miss Fabrizio Giovanardi if he doesn't come back next year? Certainly going to miss Vauxhall.
Oh, we'll definitely miss Vauxhall. They've been a lifeblood of the championship for a long time, but I'm sure they'll be back sometime in the future. Fabrizio, well, he's a fantastic driver in the car. I'm sure he's got a screw loose somewhere outside of the car, but he was a very gracious and magnanimous loser when asked then. And of course, it's easy to be when you've lost. We've already been a champion, but hats off to Colin Turkington. He is the most deserving champion of the year.
What is your opinion of the Vauxhall tactics in that last race? Matt Neal backing up the field in an attempt to get Giovanardi through. Fair play?
As a driver, my heart just went out to Colin Turkington because he drove a brilliant first lap to get up to second place, partly as a result of Matt backing everybody else up and the 2 Airwaves cars being fired off, and I didn't like to see it. I'd love to have seen just the 3 of them racing the way they were in the second race, which was fantastic sport and fantastic driving. It was a shame, but at the end of the day it didn't influence the result, and you do reap what you sow, and at the end of the day it was Colin Turkington that came through as the winner.
And let's not forget Jason Plato, 3 wins out of 3 today. What a star.
Yeah, Jason is a class act. I think that he thought his championship was always a long shot, and that's why he perhaps can, as he says, sleep well in his bed tonight. But a great drive, a champion's drive today to win 3 out of 3. Only been done once before by Dan Eves, and he's given the championship his best shot, which is, all you can do as a driver.
Well, I think they're all set for the trophy presentations now. Let's go to our Master of Ceremonies, Alan Hyde.
Says Colin, I am not worthy. He is also the independent champion for the 3rd year in a row, but Colin Turkington kisses the trophy, a lingering kiss. and a bottle of champagne he will get from Series Director Alan Gow as well, and a deep sigh. And Father Turkington makes sure that he's got the flag as well. Colin Turkington, wonderful scenes, wonderful sights, and wonderful sounds as the 2009 High-Q MSA British Touring Car Champion is crowned here at Brands Hatch. Here we go, champagne time. Series Director Alan Gale does not want to get soaked in champagne. I think everybody else does, because Colin Turkington uncorks the bottle, and champagne for the champion of 2009. What a wonderful moment, and a well-deserved glug of champagne as well. Pours it over his head. He's the independent champion for the 3rd year in the run, and he is also the overall champion for the 2009 High-Q MSA British Touring Car Championship. So Colin Turkington very, very happy on the top step of the podium. Poses for the cameras down there on ground level in front of the podium vehicle, standing there with the flag. And we've got one more champion award to make, and we'll see if we manage to make the final presentation. A thumbs up from Colin Turkington. And the final award for the Champions Podium will, of course, be the Manufacturer Constructor Award for 2009. So Colin Turkington is going to make his way over towards Steve Ryder for a live television interview with Steve, but make sure you come back, Colin. Colin Turkington, everybody, the 2009 champion. And now, the 2009 Manufacturer Constructor Champions, and they are Vauxhall VX Racing. To represent them, Andy Gilson, the Marketing Director of Vauxhall Motors. Well done once again.
And what character and class Colin Turkington has shown today. Hopefully we'll grab a quick word of him before we go. We'll have some final thoughts on all the drama we've seen here at Brands Hatch in just a couple of minutes from now. What a fantastic new touring car champion we have. That famous trophy that contains the name of the likes of Jim Clark will now also contain the name of Colin Turkington. And Colin, you looked in shock about 15 minutes ago. Is it all starting to sink in now?
Yeah, slowly. You know, that was without doubt the race of my life. You know, I think everything that I've learnt in my 8 years in touring cars, I had to put into practice in that race. You know, being summons in between the two Vauxhalls, and I just can't describe how I feel.
What sort of pressure did they put you under? You had to understand that those sort of team tactics were coming, but Matt Neal made things very tough.
It's a very difficult situation to be in. You know, Salmon's in between two teammates, and one's slowing you down and one's giving you hassle from behind. So, you know, I just had to be really defensive against Fabrizio, and you know, thankfully Tom Chilton got past. When I passed Matt, you know, I picked up some damage in the car, and I thought I was in.
You did you?
Yeah, I had a lot of toe-in on the rear, and I thought I was in big trouble. But you know, someone was looking after me today.
So did you drive around that problem? How did you handle that problem?
Yeah, I did. I just got on with it. You know, I just kept looking forward, and you know, made the most of it.
There was always the thought a couple of years ago that maybe you didn't have that hard edge to really compete for a title like this. What have you proved to yourself, especially in that last race today?
Well, yeah, you know, it takes time in this championship. You know, anybody who's running at the front have been in it for a long time, have a lot of experience, and it takes time just to learn, you know, not how to win a race, but you know, how to close a race out, how to be defensive. And you know, I have a lot of people to thank for that, especially Anthony Reid and John Pratt. You know, they've really been worked with me all year and helped me in that department.
And what does this change for you now?
It really is a lifetime ambition come true. You know, ever since I started racing, the only thing I had eyes on was British touring car. You know, never Formula 1, just British touring car. And you know, I watched all these guys, John Cleland, who's here today, and you know, heroes of mine. And you know, I can't believe I've beat some of them today.
Well, you're a hero of so many people who have watched the great events at Brands Hatch today. Congratulations! What a fantastic touring car championship. We look forward to doing exactly the same thing next year. So too does Colin Turkington, I'm sure. Bye from Brands Hatch. Welcome to Brands Hatch.
This is the British touring cars. I love it.
Lights out, away we go.
Side by side again, and Neil's gone through.
The challenges are going to be fierce.
Sorry, Lou, I didn't have a chance to get my helmet off.
It's the first win for Airwaves BMW. Oh, they're sideways, completely sideways. What a save.
I'm Matt Jackson.
Hi, I'm Jason Plato.
This is Lovely Legs Lewis here.
It's a good start from Giovanardi. Contact between Collard and Stephen Jelly. 1, 2, 3 for Vauxhall. Giovanardi from Matt Neal and Andrew Jordan.
I'm off the bar.
This is supposedly the room where all the work happens, but it's otherwise known as the lap dancing room.
This year's championship is looking as competitive as ever.
James Thompson, the first double winner of 2009.
JP was playing the game.
He was trying everything and a few naughty little things, but that's Matt.
Turkington takes his 3rd win of the year.
His 4th of the year, and the guy's on a winning streak. Ah!
Jason Plato's on the attack. Oh, there's contact. Giovanardi takes the victory. Nash hits Collard. Collard is off. He's going to come back on it. Stephen Jelly. Oh no! This is going to end in tears.
He's into the tyre barrier.
Gosh.
The faster the better. Hopefully I don't end up in the pub at the end.
It's going to be victory from Matt Jackson. A brilliant win.
Just like always, the cream comes to the top.
It could be really dangerous, so keep away to me.
If anything goes wrong with the car, it's his fault.
Colin Turkington is hanging on out in front.
Turkington's the man you're really chasing, isn't he?
Of course, baby.
It's victory for Jason Plato. Oh, he's hit by Plato. But now the 2 championship contenders are wheel to wheel.
Awesome result.
Turkington's hit by Plato. Oh, this is not what we wanted. But Turkington's going to try and go around the outside of Herbert. But Herbert's diving, and Giovanardi. Oh, they can't all 3 go through there, surely.
But it's Stephen Jelly who is the hero of the hour.
There's 3 races to go, and absolutely anything can happen at Brands.
Jason Plato is just going to grab it on the line.
What a crucial race that was. Fascinating encounter.
The 2009